Guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video kind of just spur of the moment came to me. So I was doing a declutter and I came upon, and I'm only going to pull up the box because unfortunately the palette actually broke. But I was kind of organizing, gearing up to do a declutter, and I pulled out my Pixie and Rachh Love's highlighter palette. And when I opened it, unfortunately, this shade was crushed. So I gathered it all up in a little cup and I was able to repress it the best way I could, which is not very well. So, but you know, as I was putting it together, you know, I was swatching it. I was like, my goodness, that is just so, it's just so buttery. So prompted me to pull out some others that I haven't played with in a long time, but that I loved. So that's what today's video is. I've got a basket full of things that I have enjoyed over the years, either before I started YouTube, you know, some of them after. You know, I think I was already on YouTube when I discovered the L'Oreal True Match Nudes. So at any rate, that's what we're going to do today, is a full face of some long ago forgotten faves. So if this is something that interests you, I hope you stick around. Now, to begin, I am going to start with an old fave primer. This is the Makeup Forever Step 1. This is the base hydrating primer. Okay. Scooted you guys back a little bit. So, yeah, we're going to go in with this. And let's see. Smells fine. That's what it looks like, the consistency of it. So, let's put it on our face. It feels like a moisturizer. And I remember absolutely loving the way this made my skin feel prior to the wedding makeup. I think that was the first time I had ever used it. And so I was like, yes, I really like that. So I used it, and, you know, then other products came along and it just kind of got pushed to the back a little bit. So, okay, that's on. Now, to prime my eyes, I am going in with, I thought about pulling out the paint pots, but then I said no. This one I love more than that, and this is the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Base, and let's give this a whirl. This takes literally the smallest amount. For a while, I actually just would pick it up from the cap because it is that, I don't want to say potent, but it's just that good. There we go. That's a better word. So, let's see if I can pick up just the smallest amount. Yep. So, I picked it up on a fluffy brush, and then what I'm going to do, because this is way too much, is I'm just going to work it into the cap so I can get it on my eyes. Okay, now, what to do next? Okay, we're going to do foundation next. So, I am going to apply these. I have shades 0.5 to 1, and then I have the 2 to 3. So, I've got a winter shade, and I've got a summer shade. And I do believe, kind of leaning more towards the light, but I think I could probably do with maybe just a touch of this one. So I'm going to mix these up and apply them to my face. So I decided to not spare y'all. What I did was I took the lighter of them, of the two, and I used the dropper, but not to drop it. I actually just used the side of it, and I put the lighter shade kind of, in the center, and then I just took just a little bit off of the darker one, and kind of put, I put a little bit here, there, and right there, just a small amount. So let's blend it out, shall we? So, for concealer, honestly, I don't have a concealer that is, that I don't not use. Flower Beauty, the Light Illusion, the original concealer from Flower Beauty, I think they came out with a new one. This is a favorite. I thought about using or holding off on this video and ordering the Makeup Revolution, the Hydrate Conceal and Define concealer, because that's definitely one that I used in every day well before YouTube. That is a very, very, very good concealer. I just, since doing YouTube, I just hadn't repurchased it. However, that would definitely be one that, had I had it, I would have used, because it is still, from what I can remember, a fantastic concealer. Okay, now I am going to set my under eyes, and I'm going to go in with this, the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal setting powder. And this is definitely a favorite of mine. Let me find that brush. I'll use this one. Let me wipe some of the powder. You see, I like to use this brush to kind of pinpoint. I like the way, it's got a top to it, so there's not, as soon as you open it, there's not a bunch of powder everywhere. And I'll just take and just put, a little bit in the cap, and I'll just pull from the cap. No, eyes, don't do this to me today. This is such a blurring powder. It really is. I forgot how much I enjoyed this, and forgot why I quit using it. Now, this clean canvas from Gerard Cosmetics, you guys saw how it came out. It was very creamy. However, it is a base that I absolutely do not have to set, which is very, very rare for me because I typically do have to set every eye primer that I put on, with the exception of the MAC Paint Pot because it's very dry. This is not very dry, but it just literally sinks into your skin. Now, I do always get creasing, you know, right there on the hood, so I tap it out, but that's all I have to do. I don't have to set this eye primer. So, okay. And my face is very set. However, I am going to take this same brush, this little pinpointed brush, and I'm just going to rub the rest of that powder in. And I usually kind of go around in here with powder, regardless of whether or not the foundation has set or not, just to keep anything from transferring to my clothes. You know, that's just something that I do. It's probably extra, but it's what I do. Okay. Powder out of the way. Now, now I want to do the eyes. I just can't wait any longer. So I pulled out 2 palettes that were absolute faves of mine. The ColourPop Sweet Talk. I would always refer to this as the peach palette. And then the Urban Decay Born to Run. Now, this is actually my second Born to Run, so it looks not like it doesn't look like it's been used very much, and this one hasn't. This is the second one. This was a backup that I had. So, and then the Sweet Talk looks like this. And I remember ordering this from ColourPop, and I was just so enamored with all these beautiful shades and shimmers and all that good stuff. So I'm going to probably dip into, you know, a little bit of both of these. So let's start out with the Urban Decay, the palette in this shade right here, Weekender. Y'all excuse me, I don't have my glasses on, and it is extremely hard to read the writing on these palettes without glasses. I don't wear contacts, but this shade right here, it's the lightest shade in here. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going on a Morphe 504 as always. And I'm going to just take this, and while I'm not setting this clean canvas, I am putting this down to kind of have a smooth surface for the rest of these shades. And I would do this regardless of what primer I used or what palette. You know, I always like to go in with, even if it's just a translucent, I always like to go in with a shade close to my skin tone and kind of lay all over the eye to make blending easier for the other shades. And I'm going to go ahead and do this eye with this shade. Okay, I got them both sufficiently covered. Yes. So you can't even tell that I have any shadow on, but it's just going to make blending so much easier. So for the first shade, I'm going to go in with these have a lot of similar colors now that I'm looking at it. Let's go in with this palette with this shade right here. That shade right there. I'm going to use my big old brush. It blends just effortlessly. It truly does. I'm going to hop into the Urban Decay palette, and I'm going to pick up this shade, which, can't read it. I'm not even going to try, y'all. And I'm just going to grab this brush right here after I knock off the shadow that's already on it.